Hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? Hey, Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of What's the Right Shot? Yours truly with the serve. And now rather than, look, serve and volley can really get you in trouble if you're thinking literally serve and volley, in that when you come in that you've got to volley this ball. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be too low for you. It's going to be down below the top of the net. You're going to have to volley up. It's not going to be great. And so I like to sometimes either play a half volley if I feel like I'm going to have to lunge forward just to volley, and really kind of, really not have great stroke technique on that volley, but just some lousy geometry. So either a half volley or let this ball, which I think is kind of a sitter, it's going to sit up, right? What I want to get inside your head today is the superpower of early prep. Early racket prep, which for your opponents, when they're looking at this, they don't know what you're going to do, right? Because in their minds, you've got shot choices, right? First of all, spin. Could you top it from here? Because the ball's going to get up. Yeah, you sure could, right? You could play a topper backhand to several different areas. You could go up the line. You could go cross court, dipping it low at that returner's feet. You could just drive it at somebody. You could also slice it, right? So now all of a sudden, those guys, because you've got early racket prep over there, you're kind of holding them in their position, which you like, right? They can't really anticipate. They might have to guess, but that's the beauty of doubles is the guessing part of the game. And, for me, I've already kind of committed as to what shot I'm going to play. I'm not going through the whole laundry list of different types of shots that they are. I've already got a shot in mind. And my shot typically is going to be, I want to get a ball down in front of my partner, right? Now look, this is the end of the match. This is actually match point. And so I've got a lot of intel, right? I've got a lot of data already about these two guys, what their court positioning instincts are. And so I have an idea of that as I choose my shot. And I'm just going to carve around the outside. I'm not going to roll it. I'm just going to carve it. And I'm going to, again, think about, let's get this in front of my partner and let them have an opportunity, or just throw it right in the middle of the alley, and there you have it. So, look, I want to give you a couple things on this. Let me give you a little technique on this slice backhand. But the other thing I want to do as well is talk about a drill that I think will be helpful for you with this particular shot. So look, technique-wise, we've already talked about early racket prep. And to me, racket prep is just a shoulder turn. All that you're really doing is pointing your front shoulder at the incoming ball, right? And so, when I do that, I like to kind of lay the racket back on my back shoulder. That's just my setup position, where, and yours could be slightly different. You don't have to copy exactly what I'm doing with my racket in terms of the back shoulder. It could be a little bit lower. That could work as well. But from here, I can, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and top it. Here's what I want you to be thinking about. If you decide to slice, as I've done here, point that front shoulder at the ball, and all you're thinking about is how do you get the head of the racket, the tip of the racket, around, let's call it, the outside of the ball, right? And if I make contact there, I know exactly where it's going, right? It's nothing fancy, and all you got to do from there is just kind of allow the racket to have some form of a forward towards that target direction. And so it's not an actual complete high to low hack, right? You might start up high like I did here with the shoulder, but eventually the racket gets down below, just around ball level, and just come around the outside of that ball and just commit to finishing forward, and there you have it. So look, technique-wise, those two things, right? Early prep means that you're going to, let me get this back here just a second. Early prep helps you with disguise, number one, and prep is nothing more than what we just talked about, just pointing the front shoulder right here. I mean, this could have been done even earlier. But when you point the shoulder technique-wise, this gets you set up for the swing that you want. But in terms of them not knowing what shot you're going to play, you love it, right? And here's the outside corner. Let's talk about a drill, right? I talked about this in the last episode of What's the Right Shot. Just two of you guys, right? All you need is two guys, and you're basically going to ask him over there, hey, would you just feed me some balls that kind of sit up, right? So that you're not thinking about volleying this ball, right, before it bounces. You're going to let it sit up and just work through these two things in terms of early racket prep with the shoulder and then around the corner, and there you have it. And look, if that guy over there can rally it back to you and create the same match situation as this one here, fine. They might need a bucket of balls. That's fine too. That's typically for this kind of a drill, easiest thing. What I would do is ask him, hey, look, would you give me 15 minutes? Just feed me that same ball over and over, and then I'll reciprocate and I'll do whatever you want to do for the next 15 minutes. But you got to recreate this situation right here that you're going to find yourself a lot in the match when you're playing serve and volley, where you don't necessarily want to volley. You won't let that ball get up, get some geometry, and be able to play this shot. Now, look, should you play an approach shot on this? Yeah, I got a little bit lazy. This was the last point of the match. Just kind of was feeling it on that day. And did I get lazy in terms of not approaching? Yeah, really the ideal that you want is the assumption that you're going to play this shot and this guy's going to be there. So you'd like to improve your court position after you play this shot and not just stand here as I did and, oh boy, look at me. Yeah, well, I don't know if it was that bad, but you get the point. It should be a little approach shot in case the guy anticipates and it does come back. All right, guys, that's it for me. Hope this was helpful. Let's just run this through real time. I won't say a word. Well, I will say a word, but I'm not going to pause it and give you an idea of real time of what it looks like and feels like. Would love to hear your comments, questions, remarks, feedback down below in the comments area. That'd be great. Love to read that and respond to you. And as always, it's time. We got to get out there. We got to help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, see you again next time.